Okay, Pliny's still writing letters. This time it's to his Urso, to Cornelius Ursus. And again, he says, Salve, greetings. Olim, once, something to do with time. Non librum in manus. So it's been some time since he's had a book in his hands. And sumsai means he's taken up. And not a pen. Okay, so sometimes he hasn't had a book in his hands or a pen. And again, something to do with time. It's been some time. Nescio quid. He's not very certain here. Nescio quid sometimes doesn't mean actually it's personal either. Nescio is more of an interjection sometimes. So I don't know what may be otium, because I don't know what really leisure time is and what quies, what rest time is. And deniqui, finally, we have a quidem even. So even or indeed, what is inert? Inert means doing nothing. So all these three, otium, quies, and inert, all the same sort of leisurely doing nothing. And he describes it here as jucundum. So being inert or slothful is pleasant, jucundum. And nevertheless, to agere nihil and to esse, to be nothing. So if you take that whole section there, he's saying it's been some time since he's had a book in his hand or a pen, and basically he's talking about since he knows what otium and rest and being lazy in its pleasantness of doing nothing and being nothing. Adio without an uts just means absolutely or completely. Multa negotia, negotium's a neuter. That S shouldn't be there. So, much business we have a neck and a patio. So, the business or duties of his friends have not allowed him or suffered him so he can have time to himself. Say quidere means go off by yourself, nor to studere, to give time to his studies, basically. So it looks like much work he's doing for his friend is preventing him from doing this. Nulla enim studio tanti sut. For there should be nothing of such studies which would make him desert his officium, his duty of friendship. So he's talking about two different friendships here, really. He's the friendship with the guy he's writing a letter to, and the friendships he's had here with the undertaking business. Anyway, so he doesn't want to desert his duty of friendship. Quod, which most religiously, that's a superlative adverb it looks like, praecipiunt, they give instructions himself for the custodiendum studio. This would be a gerundive looking thing. Custodium of, how do you want to put that? So he's basically his duty of caring most religiously. What does the lobe got? A duty which these books tell us to observe with scrupulous care. That sort of thing. And vale. That's the end of that letter. Book 10. Pliny to his prosocoro fabato. So this is Calpurnius fabato. Prosocoro means his wife's grandfather. And again he's saying salve to start with. Quo magus, all the more Cupus, you're desiring e nobis from us videre to see praepotes, be grandchildren, pronepotes. Videre is also used as not just with an infinitive, but also with perfect as well. So hoc tristia, so much more tristia or sad, ordis you will hear that your neptem, your offspring's child, basically, your grandchild has facissid and abortum, had a miscarriage. Facissid is the past version of the infinitive. And while, say herself, she nescit, she didn't know, a bit like this nescio, she didn't know that she was pregnant. That's why you have the infinitive, because it's a head verb. And this is a strange looking adverb, puellarita, from just the fact that she's a young girl, you might want to say. She didn't realise she was pregnant, and per hoc, and through this lack of knowledge, she omitted. to do certain custodientes, which should be done for for the pregnant women. So she admitted to do certain things she should have done, and she facketed. She did things which, again, are done with the gerundive, which should have been omitted. So basically, it's a bit of a sad letter. Quem errorem, this is accusative. Magnus documentus. So this is a great documentary, or great evidence, you might say, this error, ex pivot, which she is paid for, basically. Adducted, so she's been led into a summum periculum, into a very great danger. So obviously this documents what a terrible danger she had faced. And igitor, therefore, ut necesse, says it's necessary, accipies, you should accept this gravita, or very seriously or heavily, in your senuctum tuum, in your old age, as if destitute of a posteris, this is a posterity or future children who have been prepared but then had a miscarriage. So you'll accept this very gravita. But sick, thus you ought to agere, you ought to give gratias, some thanks to the deus, to the gods, because ita, they've negaveranted, they've denied to you in the present times, pro-nepotes, any grandchildren, but as they have serve-rented your nepotem, but they've still preserved the granddaughter, and reditura, you ought to give some thanks to them or something for this. Quorum nobis, of which to us, certorium spem, there's a more certain hope, these things itself, quam, although prosperously parum, leastly, this is prosperous, it has been explored, you might want to say, that facit fecundus, her fecundity or ability to bear offspring has been explored, even though this has been leastly prosperous, you can still have other children, I'm guessing. So this illos redituri probably means they'll give us some others anyway. So 3 is them, the same, now, I to you, the same things which I hortor myself, I encourage myself and I advise myself, I confirm for you. So the same things which he was telling himself. For nequi, for neither are you ardentius, this is a comparative, are you more burning for pro-nepots, for grandchildren, quam, than I am desirous, cupio, of liberos, which are children. Video, I shall see to it certain things by me and you, pronum to the path of honours. Okay, so coming from my side, this was probably like when, I don't know, they took Adam's rib and that comes from the lateral side. Anyway, they're descended from you and me, from our sides, and they're prone to paths of honours and auditor. Something shall be heard. Looks like the nominative names will be heard rather widely, lartiously. So they'll have a good name that is well known, and non-subitus, so not non-suddenly will they be left images. I'm pretty sure in the tombs they have images of long family lines, so not suddenly have they occurred, but they've got a long and prosperous heritage or something. Modo, only if nascentur, they're born, and this dolorum of ours, this grief of ours will change in Gaudio, it comes from Gaudium. So hopefully if they get born, children get born, any pain will turn into rejoicement or something, and then vale to end it. And this is letter 11. See Plinius to his dative in the female gender, hispula, Calpurnia hispula, salve. Cum affectionem affectum tuum, when your affections, erga, towards, that's a preposition, the filiam, the daughter, fratris of your brother, cogito, I think about, etiam, even molliorem, even softer comparative than the indulgentia materna, that's the adjective for a mother. So I think that your your affection is softer even than a mother's indulgence. Intelligo, it's like cockatoo. I understand, prius tibi, that prior to you, what is posterius, what should come later, nuntienda must be announced. So I should announce to you first what should be told later, so that praesumpta laetitia, pray usually means in advance, so that you'll take up happiness sooner or before, and it will non-reliquate, it will not leave any locum, any place for solicitudi, for anxieties and worries. Quam. Although, very orne, verb of fearing, so wouldn't need a reverse. Although I fear that, post-gratulations, post is more this state of happiness, you might want to say, quoque also in metum, into fear, redias, you shall return. Get subjunctives afterwards and knees. And thus, Gordias, you'll be rejoicing that she is liberatum, this filium, this daughter of your brother is free from periculo, from danger, ut simul, but at the same time you'll be per horrescast, you'll be thoroughly horrified, quod periclita, from what was the danger that she was in, I'm guessing. Yam hilaris, now she's jocular and happy. Yam sibi, now for her, and yam, this is like the third yam. And now to me, redita incipit. So beginning to be reficod, but to be recovering. Now this hilarity, this happiness is returned to Sibi, to her, and to me. Okay, and matira, this is used for crossing things or measuring. So it looks like she's measuring the disagreement, which is the crisis, the transmission which she's gone through towards or into convalescing. Yeah. So now she's beginning to measure out and think about how much danger she's been. Now she's on the road to convalescing. Okay. Fuit, it was, or she was, alioque, in general, otherwise. So it looks like she was very much in summo discrema. She was in great crisis or danger. Liciat, this takes the infinitive. So it should be able to be said with me unpunished or safe. It should be safe for me to say that she was in height of danger. Fuit nulla sua culpa. This was not her fault or blame, but it was something aliquot to do with her young age. So this is pretty much similar to that previous letter. Okay, so we're going to have a daily dictionary word. So I'll have this adverb from for puel arata, which you'll probably never see again. Sometimes this is wrong, so I don't know if there are comparatives and superlatives, but there could be. Anyway, she was girlish, youthful, of a young girl. Back to where the hell we were. No, we weren't there. Inde, we must have been there. So then, abortus, she had this miscarriage, and this experimentum, this documentation, which is tristy, which is grim, of an ignorati uterus. She was unknowing that there was a child in her uterus, you might want to say, or a baby. Pro indi usually means something like just as or so then, etsi, although non-contigit, it hasn't happened for you in this desiring or longing for from your brother. It looks like he was looking for children from his, I think it's grandchildren from his brother. Either nepot eis or neptes, either nieces or nephews, are actually grandchildren or granddaughters. Solare, amisai, all these things are happening from this non-contigit section. Anyway, memento, this looks like an imperative, so remember, probably a future imperative. Remember, tama, nevertheless, this is a dilation or a weight or something. Magus, more, this is. The dilatum istud. This is more of a weight than a denial, a negatum of children, because of the miscarriage. When salva sit, when it looks like the girl's still safe and is able, sperari, to have hopes from her. You want to say she's still alive and safe, and you're still able to have children from her. Similar. At the same time, an excusa patri tuo to your, give an excuse to your father for this casum, this event or misfortune. To who pararita. It's more convenient, you might want to say, for this, pardon his saying, for it to be told this event amongst women. So if this girl explains to her father what had happened rather than from Pliny, who's a male, in Vale. Goodbye.